my answer, I could say I never bought a home before. And at my age, it was time to actually see my money instead of wasting my money.
We had found the house that we wanted, and we went to the bank, and it was like, not right now. And that was a punch to the gut because we really liked that home. But it was 3 different people that we communicated on the loan. Like, that process was daunting.
It was almost make you want to give up.
And we put a down payment on the house the same day. Like, that was...
And that was the whole talk going home. We just have bought a house. We just have to put money on the house. Do you realize what we just have did? We about to buy a house.
Did you almost feel like, nah, that was too fast? Or like, are we making the right decision? Did you feel like that? Hey guys, welcome back into Living Inside the Triad. Today I'll be meeting back with the Harrises. They have invited me back into this wonderful, astonishing home that boasts over 2,000 square feet with the open concept floor plan with included loft and over 1 acre lot. Let's see what they're doing, okay? Come on. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm good, man. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey guys, how are we?
All right.
Good. That's good. So, we purchased in November of last year, and it's been some time. We finally have settled in just a little bit. Some things we got to tweak here and there. But just catch us up on this journey.
It was a process,
It's a process.
for sure. It was, because, we started, almost a year and a half ago. And then we stopped, and then we picked back up, and we really weren't going to buy until this month. If you recall, we were shooting for April of 2025, and then we started looking again in
What was it?
September? We were looking, and
Of 2024?
Yeah, 24. We were looking, and I actually stumbled upon this. We were looking for something that, I was looking for something that was newer, but wasn't, and he wanted something that wasn't too close together. And I found this on the internet, and I shot you a text, which is always good to get in touch with you, but I shot you a text, and I was like, what do you think about this? And I said, we'll go look at it and see how far apart they are and if we'd be interested. And it was from there, like, we came in the house and we're like, this is home, this is where we want to be. And we put a down payment that day.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it was. It was perfect timing too. I mean, but it was a journey. It has been a journey.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So let me ask you this. Why purchase a home? Why did you guys want to buy?
Well, for my answer, I could say I never bought a home before. And at my age, it was time to actually see my money instead of wasting my money.
Correct.
So I was more so gung-ho, probably more than she was, of purchasing a home, because, I guess it was just a waste of money. I kept wasting money in apartments. And if I wanted to even move out of apartments to a nicer apartment, I was going to pay for a mortgage payment out of rent.
Right.
So it's just like, I'm never going to see that on the way. So it was time.
Right.
It was time.
You also came from an apartment too?
So I've had 2 other homes before downgrading to an apartment, and I was hesitant about buying a house just because of It is a little bit more expensive, but you do see a return, and it being your money and it's yours and not renting. But I mean, there are things that you can't control. Like you can't control if the hot water heater goes out. You are responsible for that. If you
Right.
live in an apartment, you're not responsible for that.
Right.
The yard, like
Yes.
you're responsible for that. It's things that come along with buying a house that you have to think about. Are you ready? Are you financially stable to be able to put into the house even after you're in the house? Because I mean, once you buy it, it's yours. So
Yeah.
you have to
Be responsible for it.
Yes, you're responsible for anything that breaks in the house. Whereas
Yes.
in an apartment, you call the office like, "Hey, I need you to come fix that." So
Right.
that was my reservation about buying a home again. Is were we ready to buy a house?
So what sparked that conversation? Like, I'm ready to buy. I'm tired of this apartment. Let's buy a house.
But when we first started dating, he wanted a house. He had said he wanted to be in a house. He had been in apartments since he's been in Greensboro. He didn't like not being able to play his music loud and being able to stomp around if you want to. So it was always in the back of our mind to purchase a home since we started dating. But I think what sparked it is we kept getting notices from the apartment building, and it's like the apartment management, and it was like, okay, it's time. We're ready.
So you guys were dating. You guys was in an apartment. You guys got married in the apartment, correct?
Yes.
And then we decided to buy then, or we
talked about it.
Right. It wasn't serious.
It was definitely more of a serious conversation on that we're going to do after we got married.
Yeah. So I find that interesting though, because a lot of the clients that I do serve say we're not going to get married until we buy a house. So they do it backwards, which I mean, either way you do it, it works. Right.
I think, me personally, I think you need to, and this ain't even about buying a house, but I think you need to live with somebody.
Yes.
To get to know them.
Yes.
I mean, we've known each other all our lives, and moving in with him was a huge step to get to know him even more intimately, because I had never lived with him, you know. It's one thing to go out on a date and then you go your separate ways.
Right.
It's another thing you go out on a date, you got to go home with this person. But if you're in an apartment, I think personally, and you move in together, you're testing the waters.
You are.
And then purchasing a house is a huge step. So why would you get, I'm not judging people, but you get married or you buy a house and then you get married. It's just, I don't know.
It's almost like you ain't even test the water or know what it's going to be like.
With that person.
Yeah.
But I can understand. I mean, some people are.
Yeah. I think it depends on the situation too, because some people are like in two separate households and they're trying to get together. So I understand why buying the house first is important versus getting married. So I understand it from that aspect.
But then if it don't work out and y'all done bought this house together and y'all don't get married,
you connected. You're there.
Yeah.
You're there.
Then what? You gotta separate all the assets. Who bought the TV? Who bought the couch?
Right. It gets complicated. It gets too sticky. It gets sticky. I've been in those positions before. It's a hard conversation.
Yeah.
It's a hard conversation. So, all right. So we created the idea that we're gonna buy a house. Then me and you reconnected at the gas station. And I knew you were serious.
But that's I was gonna say that too. I had forgot that you was even in real estate.
Really?
I forgot.
Yeah.
Until I seen you at the gas station that day, and I was like, Khalid, I'm gonna give it Khalid. And I said, Khalid, look, give me your number.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be looking at a house soon, but I want to move out here. You
Yeah.
Said, all right. Just let me know. We exchanged numbers.
Yes.
And then I told her about you. Then
he came home that day and told me.
Yeah, I was like, J-Rock's buddy Khalil, he a real estate. He a realtor. He sell houses or whatever. Yeah. I said I'm gonna mess with him. I said, somebody I know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, not that somebody's gonna jerk you or get over on you, but if I'm gonna spend my money and if I can help you out, why not? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I know you.
Right.
So why go to a stranger and give them the money or give them the opportunity to help us when somebody I know, really know, as seeing as a kid coming up, growing, I put all my faith in trust
Yeah.
in you, and I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I appreciate that.
I did.
I really do appreciate
I
that.
did.
Because I was going to ask that next. Have you considered working with other people, or have you even talked to other realtors before?
I was looking before he told me about you. I was looking on, I think it was either Redfin or Zillow, and we looked at a house one day, and the listing agent was there,
Correct.
and I was talking to her, but other than that, no, not seriously. Just, and at that point, we were just messing around. We
Laughs
was just
and
looking,
giggles. Laughs and giggles. You want to test the water.
seeing what we could do.
Yeah.
What the market looked like, what the houses looked
Right.
like in the area, that because we knew we wanted to be in Kernersville. But what the houses looked like at the price range that we thought we were going to buy in.
So I knew once we talked and we kind of sat down, had our informal meeting, I think the budget was always around 400,000.
Yeah.
I think it was always around 400,000. Now, when we discussed that budget, I don't think we had went to the bank just yet.
No.
So when you get to the bank and they say, nah, you have to wait, how was that? Like, did that create like some type of fear or just like disappointment?
So when we went to the bank, remember that when we first went to the bank, we had found the house that we wanted.
Yes, that is correct.
We
that
had
is correct.
found the
That's
house
correct.
that we wanted, and we went to the bank, and it was like, not right now. And that was a punch to the gut because we really liked that home. But
Yes,
I mean,
I did
it
too.
worked out perfectly.
was-
This home, but that home was really nice, and it was actually the first house that he and I actually agreed upon.
Yes.
Yeah, and we both walked in and was
Yes.
like, this is it. But going to the bank and them telling us, yeah, your credit score's not there. I don't think we're gonna be able to get you this loan.
It wasn't your credit score.
It was yours.
It was mine. But I knew I wasn't ready for as credit wise. I knew I needed like another year.
Okay.
So in that midst of time, it was probably almost a year, right? It was like a year. I just needed a year. I got a year, and then once I got the year, I was good.
Now was it? So you go to the bank. They say, okay, you don't meet the requirements. You're there, but you're not 100% there. Now, when you guys had that conversation, was it okay? This is the plan. This is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it, and this is the way we need to do it. Was that conversation?
Well,
He knew he needed to fix his credit score.
Yeah.
I didn't make enough money to get the loan that we needed to purchase that first home.
Correct. Okay. So it was a balance.
It was a balance. It was like
Yeah.
my credit score was fine. His credit score sucked. My pay sucks. His pay is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't have a formal conversation about it. But he was like, "Yeah, I know I need to fix my credit score.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna do," and he did it. And in the midst, I got a little raise here and there. So I mean, it all worked out. But yeah, it was that first punch in the gut. It was like, oh, okay, we really need to tighten up. If this is what we're gonna do, we need to tighten up.
My wife and I, so that's funny because me and my wife was actually in the same position you guys are in, vice versa, same situation. And that first punch was like, okay, cool, let's do it, right? So I knew I had to saddle up and get some stuff squared away, right? But it was good though because it was an eye opener. And believe it or not, getting pre-approved from the home is like almost one of the top 5 fears of like as far as like American dream wise, like it's like one of the top 5 fears. And to go through that process, to understand how it feels, I'm now able to be relatable to people who are in that position. It's like, you know what, it's gonna be okay. So just go and get pre-approved, understand why you're not pre-approved, and then plan from there. And so I tell a lot of people that because a lot of people are like, hey, I want to look at this house, I want to see this house, I want to, and that's cool. We can go look at it all day long, but understand how the back end works because that's the most important piece.
And I think that prepared us for purchasing this home. And because we didn't go and get pre-approved. We found that house first.
Yes.
And then we went to the bank. And
Yes.
instead of, okay, I wanna purchase a home. He raised his credit score. We went to the bank and was like, okay, what are y'all going to give us?
Right.
So that kind of set us up for our price range. And then once we started looking in the price range that we knew we could get a loan for, that was yeah.
And you know what's funny? The bank actually works like that. The bank wants you to find a house, then come to them. But us as realtors that's in the business of showing homes every day would rather you understand what your money is first, so we know how much money we have to spend.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that system kind of like clashes a lot, you know. And I've seen real estate transactions fail because of that clash. But I think it's just a working partnership.
Yeah, because when we did go get pre-approved, they did want to know, like, do you have an address or have you found a house?
Yeah.
So I can see that. I can see that. But
Yeah. So we finally get pre-approved. How was that? How was that feeling?
it was a I don't know, it was a reality check, like, oh, we really doing this now.
Yeah, this is serious.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
How long we gonna have a loan for?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I mean, it was a good feeling to finally get pre-approved for what we wanted.
It gave you that sense of hope.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was a good feeling to be like, okay, because I didn't think, because he had raised his credit score, but I didn't think we were going to get approved for what we got approved for. So, because I think we ended up getting approved for like 430 or something like that.
So that's good. That's good. Because I tell people, whatever we get pre-approved for, we want to stay within 10, 20, just to kind of give it that buffer. You know, when most people look at their pre-approval, like, oh, I got this amount of money, this is what I'm looking for. Like, nah, you don't want to exactly look for that, right? Yeah. And I think at the time you guys were approved, fast forward, the time you guys were pre-approved, the inventory was decreasing.
It was.
So it wasn't a lot of inventory on the market. So, I mean, we're looking at everything that, like, if it sparks our interest, we're going to go look at it. We looked at a lot of houses.
We did.
Believe it
look
or
at
not.
A lot of houses.
And you guys probably looked at more scrolling through your phone. You know what I mean?
Every day.
Yeah.
That was like almost as a part-time job.
Yeah.
A part-time throughout the day.
Yeah.
Every minute you get, you ain't doing nothing. I'm looking on the phone like, I like this one. Sit down.
Yeah.
Send this to Khalil every day. I'm like,
yes.
Send it to Khalil.
Yeah.
He got sick of it. He's like, you send it to Khalil.
So I felt like, you know, when they give you the pre-approval, you have a certain amount of time before you have to go back and like, I guess, just update it, if that makes any sense. And you kind of like racing.
Yeah.
Because anything financially can change before you even get to update. So you're kind of beating the time clock. But there's no inventory on the market.
Right.
Right. And so it was like, well, I remember we looked at a house right before this one. You guys said, well, Khalil, we're going to shoot over here. We're going to go ahead and just ride through the neighborhood and see. And you guys like, yo, that's the one. That's the one.
Yep.
We need to go check that out. Right. And I was like, yeah, okay. It's new construction. I was like, okay.
And you know, cool. We were... He was dead set against new construction.
New construction, yeah.
Like, I ain't, nah, they too close together. They too cookie cutter. Yeah.
So new construction. So from an apartment to new construction, it happens. Actually, it happens a lot. But I think in you guys' position is actually very unique, just because that's not what you had initially wanted.
Yeah.
And so it was like, you gotta bite and, okay, this is a yes, this is a no, this is a yes, this, you know what I mean? So you kind of had to negotiate with yourselves just a little bit, but to have the new construction and have it meet majority of your needs, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and so, new construction is different though.
Yes.
It's not like your traditional home sale.
No.
We're kind of like hands off. You know what I mean? We kind of just leave everything in their hands.
I kept asking though, Khalil. I was like, Khalil gonna get his money right?
Yeah.
Because you were so removed from it, but you were still communicating with us. But I'm like,
Yes.
how does that work?
Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
asked him all the time. I was like, Khalil's still gonna get his money from the sale though, right?
Yeah.
Because it just seems like they are so aggressive. I don't know if that's the word, but they are so, yeah.
No. That's the perfect word. So all new construction is like that. They have their own lenders. They have their own lawyer system. They actually have their own set of realtors.
Right.
They have their own everything, right? So they can control and dominate the market. And so when you bring in another party, that's so cool. That's okay, right? It doesn't matter who you bring, but they still like to tend to their system and their process because it's just such a new, it's just a new transaction, right? And so I get it, I understand it, but I still want to be like, nah, we're going to hire our own attorney. Nah, we're going to do our own.
How was that process for you with this?
That's a good question. So I've been involved in a new construction. That was actually my first time actually just being involved with it by myself.
Right.
So it was actually eye-opener for me.
Okay.
Because it just showed again how much consistent communication you have to have. And I mean, me personally, whenever I'm working on a regular, like normal transaction, I'm always talking to one person and maybe talking to their bank.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, when I'm helping people buy homes. But for the most part, I was talking to everybody in the company. I was talking to her manager. I was talking to her. I was talking to her appraiser. I mean, not the appraiser, but her loan officer. So I'm dealing with every entity of that party. And there's too many people to communicate with. And the conversation gets lost. And I kind of feel like the conversation got lost for you guys as well. Like at some point it was like, okay, I see 10 different emails today. Each one of them is a different conversation. I would rather talk to one person, which is why I was like,
it was like 3 different loan officers.
Yeah.
I mean that wasn't their title, but it was 3 different people that we communicated on the loan. Like that process was daunting.
yes,
It was almost make you want to give up. That's how, it was like, because it was like they was asking the same questions every day. I'm answering.
But it was to a different person.
Yeah.
So that part was.
Yeah, you're talking to 2 different people answering the same question, but they're not talking. And so that's real frustrating.
That was, yes.
Yeah.
It's real frustrating.
That loan part and getting all of the documents in, it was something new every day. But it was the same thing, but it being asked in a different way by a different person.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they were, I don't know. It kind of made me wish that because we ended up going through their mortgage company, but we had got approved at our credit union. It kind of made me wish like to deal with the credit union instead of with their loan, but they offered us
a better deal. And that's why most new constructions, they take the process just because they give you better lending opportunities. And so that's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Because you get a good deal at the end of the day. You guys got a phenomenal deal.
Yes.
But I do want to ask you, when we went to look at that model home, what made it stick? Because I think we looked at a few homes.
We looked at one down the street.
It was everything we wanted. But something was wrong. What was it?
Was it the? I think it was the back.
Well, I did like the distance. Like you ain't like elbow to elbow to your neighbors. You know, there was a lot of room. I did like that. Something. What was it?
It wasn't, the patio down the street wasn't covered.
Yeah, it wasn't covered.
Yeah.
It was just a slab out there.
Yeah.
Was that an acre lot down there as well?
Yeah. Everything out here is an acre.
Gotcha.
Acre plus. But yeah, that was. I actually liked that down the street. It had 2 masters.
Yeah, that's what.
But I like the finishes on this house because that one had like a quartz countertop, and this one has the granite countertops. So it was more so when we walked in here, it was the covered patio for one. We're not elbow to elbow. I love the floors. All of the finishes were what drew us in. It was everything that we wanted. It was 3+ bedrooms, 2+ baths. Spacious,
yes,
open, airy. So
yeah,
it just, I mean, I think we walked into this one and it was like, this is it.
Yeah.
The model home, the decor and stuff was nice.
Of the home that we
The
actually did
model
the paperwork
home.
at. Yeah.
That one was nice, but I like our house better.
Yeah. yeah. Yeah, that one was actually nice. They had it set up to sell
Really?
for sure.
Yes.
They had it set up to sell for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember walking into this one, it was like, man, this is it. You know. It's like we walked in here and we started creating the vision of, yeah, we're gonna do this with that. Yeah, we're gonna put the TV here. That's the part I like. That's the part I like. When you walk in the home and you start envisioning how you're gonna live in it,
Yeah.
that's the icing on the cake for me. Because that kind of helps me actually know obviously what you want, but it also lets me know where you are mentally, right?
Yeah.
And so you're not thinking about what house you're actually buying. You're thinking about how you're gonna live in this house. And so most people don't really consider that. Most people are like, oh yeah, I don't like the way the wall looks, or I don't like the fact that there's green algae on the side of the house. It's like, you can pressure wash that. You can repaint the wall. You know, you can repaint the wall. You know, you can make some adjustments in the house.
So, like, I think y'all had came here before, or y'all had went
We
in the
were
house
at that
before-
house down there.
before I came in.
Yes.
So y'all already was like, he gonna like it. Or
Yeah.
I said you weren't gonna like
it
it.
was the shower and the bathroom together, or like
It wasn't a tub in the master. And you had been saying I
Yeah.
need a tub in the
Yeah.
master. But I mean, you walked in and you were like, I like this. I like this. And ain't on top of each other. I like this. We gonna buy a house today. I was like, oh, okay. we
Yeah.
gonna buy a house.
Now
that was insane.
was y'all nervous?
Yeah.
When y'all didn't expect for it to happen like right there, did you?
Like we looked at the house and we put a down payment on the house the same day.
Yeah.
Like that was
and that was the whole talk going home. We just got bought a house.
Yeah, yeah.
Put money on the house.
Did it
You
just
realize
happen?
what we just got did?
Yeah.
We about to buy a house.
it
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Was y'all excited?
Yeah.
excited and nervous.
Yeah.
Nervous. And it was right before Thanksgiving
Yeah.
too.
It was.
Like,
Yeah.
It was.
what are we doing?
Right.
What are we really doing? We really about to buy a house? Like
Yeah.
that's what I was saying.
Right before the holidays.
Because we were in two separate cars. I called him. I was like, after we put the down payment down, it's like, we really buying a house?
Yeah.
And we still had our lease. So
Yeah.
it was like, okay.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you almost feel like, nah, that was too fast? Or like, are we making the right decision? Did you feel like that?
That was definitely that feeling, and in the process of everything going on, they called us every day asking for this and that. She was like, "Who did just tell us we didn't get approved, or they don't want us to move in this
Yeah.
house? We'll make enough money, or something wrong."
Yeah.
They just prolonged. It's taking too long. It's not take that long.
Yeah.
We ain't getting this house.
Yeah.
Then process going a little bit more, and she sees something else a little different, like everything's looking
You still actively
she like,
looking.
well, we might get it. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't really good. Then it kept on going. She said, damn, it's gonna come down all the way to the end, and they gonna say, y'all don't qualify. Y'all, we ain't gonna get that house. I would be so mad. I would be so mad. Well, she called me that day. She was like, oh, baby. I said, what? We got our house.
I mean, it was a good feeling. Like
It was, yeah.
It was. I've had homes before, but I was never a part of the purchasing process. So
Yes.
this was a good feeling for me. But it was daunting. Like every day we need to see this, we need to see that, we need proof of this. I'm like, I've sent you everything I can send you except for a pint of blood. What do you want?
Yeah.
And to finally get that call and the loan officer to be like, you got your house, you get your keys. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then we had at first they were saying we could move in December. And then
Yeah,
they pushed it.
the changing date closed.
Yeah,
And
I was like,
I think that's what threw me for a loop. Because I started to actually get like a little frustrated with that. Because we sat in this office all night and we gave you this date. We gave you this date for a specific reason. Now, as a realtor and as any other professional, it's like sometimes you have to be flexible, right?
Right.
But it actually ended up being better. Now, it wasn't the time that we actually moved in, but you actually paid less in taxes because you actually closed towards the end of the month. So it actually saved you a lot more money versus closing in December towards the beginning of the month.
Okay.
So you pay less in taxes. So that actually worked out in our favor. Yeah. But again, like when I really sit back and think about it, it's like we closed right before Thanksgiving, before any other thing, like all the holidays, all the time off, all of those things happened. So it allowed you to, okay, we have a house, we can go and do everything else, but just know that we've got the biggest goal. Because just imagine if you guys were still doing all the traveling you guys were doing, doing your Christmas, doing the Thanksgiving, doing all the festivities, and still like actively like closing on a home and having to deal with the communication, the random phone calls, and that just would have disturbed your holiday a little bit. Although you're still working towards a certain goal, so it actually worked out perfectly.
I think it did. It did. We closed the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Got our keys, started moving stuff in, and then we did Thanksgiving, but we really didn't move in until like the second week of December.
It's perfect time. Yeah. Slow down just a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry, just I don't know. We make calendars every year, but on that calendar, it's like an extra star got to be for both holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving, because that was a big step for us.
Yeah.
To buy and purchase a home and be the holidays right there before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really enjoy Thanksgiving and Christmas, so to say.
I would rather have been here for Thanksgiving, though.
Yeah.
We went out of town. We got our keys, and then the very next day we went out of town.
Had to go.
It was like, what are we doing? We got a house.
Yeah. We need to be home. We need to be at home. Everybody needs to be here.
Right. They ask us, why y'all here? Yeah. Since y'all be moving, y'all just bought a house.
Yeah.
Who does that? Buy a house and go out of town?
Yeah.
The next day. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But we did stop by on our way out of town.
Yeah. Let's go look at it real quick.
Yeah.
Let's go take a look at it.
Let's go make some measurements.
Yeah.
Like we about to buy something.
Yeah.
We had the idea that we were going to purchase something on Black Friday, but that didn't even happen.
No, sure did.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So when you sit back after you accomplish the goal of purchasing, you got to sit back and reflect. What do you think your favorite process or the favorite part of that process was for you?
Getting the keys.
Getting the keys?
Getting the keys.
The favorite process probably was they improved us. Because even though I worked on my credit, it was straight and done, but it had to settle to even go higher. So that was probably the best feeling for me. Because you know how your mom or your grandparents be on your head all the time when something you're doing. Yeah. That was her. I told you should have paid. But it's like what you get relaxed in. Like apartment, you written. So you relax in your bills and you just slack because you're so sad. You're comfortable. So it was time like, okay, it's time to level up. Yeah. Put your grown man, big man pants on. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to buy a home. So all that comfortability I was doing, it's time for me to buy something.
It kind of like forced you.
Yeah.
Like forced you, which was a good force.
Yeah.
So that's always beautiful.
Yeah, so I would say probably when they approved us. And it was like more so what we wanted to. The numbers. So that was like probably the best feeling for me.
Yeah. So now, post-transaction, actually settling in the home, how has it been? Is it still like exciting? Or is it like, okay, I'm here, but I want to do this, I got to do that. Are you still like in that newer phase of just...
Even though it's a newer home, it is a new home.
Yes.
There are still things that we want to do.
Yes.
So we're settled. Like we got the basic things done. All the things that we initially thought that we were going to have to do, we've done. Now it's just things that, there was things that we needed, like we needed the ceiling fans and stuff like that. But now it's stuff that we want to do. And I think you don't never know what you want to conquer first. And then we've made a list. And you're like, nah, we make another list.
Yeah.
But we're ticking off things little by little. But I don't know. It's
Like
settled but not settled.
Yeah, definitely. Like the projects we want to do is so much, but we trying to narrow it down. Basically, like this is what we're gonna focus on this year.
Yeah, like is this something I need to do today, or is this something I could do along the way?
And you know what? I don't know. I might start playing like 1,000 as far as the lottery. Like, that's the number I want to play.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put up like $5 to $10 on it, because everything that we want to do, every project we want to do, everybody says $10,000. $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
$10,000. That's a common number. So it's like shit.
Yeah.
Except for the $18,000 to put the fence up.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah.
That was 20. It's
Right.
double. It's 20 for the fence.
Yeah.
So either I'm gonna play 1,000 or 2,000, put $5 on it. I think that's gonna be a good number.
But you know that also goes towards the home you have too.
Yeah.
So a lot of people see, oh, they got a new house. Oh yeah, they can afford.
Yeah.
So it has its pros and cons, but
Yeah.
from the outside looking in, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, they got some bread, man. They holding on to something.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, man, mind your business.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
mind your business, man. You know, mind your business. So I would say, honestly, I think, again, we're still relatable because our house was built in, I think 2005. I think along the way they have remodeled over time. Obviously there's still some room for remodeling there, but that's also what I wanted too. I didn't want a house that was, you know, now that I think about it, you know, I probably would have settled for something a little newer because it's like I ain't got to do that now. But I mean, the things that we have in the house now is still like everything's functioning, everything's still good, still perfect. But it's like, oh, I want to do this. But I also know in the back of my mind, if I remodel this, if I remodel that, then my equity will go up at certain, you know what I mean? So now me and my wife are the same way. Oh, what we gonna do today? Or what we gonna do next week? What we gonna do this year, right? And so we create these extensive lists, and it's just like, man, I don't even have enough time to get all that done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because that's honestly me doing the work is actually like a little bit of my piece. It's kind of my separation from everything else I have going on, and for her as well. So now what we notice, like when we do work, we come together on the list, and then that's what we focus on. So like this year, we're just gonna focus solely on like landscaping in the backyard, right? And so that's what we're doing now. Although it's in good standards, but just like let's get some new furniture, let's put the grass wall up here, let's do some different things. So that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just taking one step at a time. And so that erases that immediate, you know what I'm saying, decision that you have to, I got to get this done, I got to get that done. Because that's how we felt too buying a house.
One goal you focus on.
Yeah. We got to do
You
this.
want your
we gotta
house
do
to
that.
be perfect, but it's never going to be perfect. It's always going to be something to do.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
It's never complete, I don't think.
Yeah.
You can always do an upgrade on something.
Yeah. Something. So pulling in the driveway. How you feel?
You pull in the driveway more than me. How do you feel?
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Yeah, it's a good feeling, man. It's still exciting. I guess when I turn on the road right there by the little gas station.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it really settled in. Like, damn, I'm on my way home.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what else? This community only has like, what, 30 houses?
Yeah.
There's other houses, communities that have like 100 plus.
Right. I
Yeah.
think that's,
Homes.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing that sold us too. It was so small.
Yeah, and it's, you drive in, you either make a left or you make a right, and they both dead in the streets. So you don't have a lot of ride-through traffic.
Yeah.
Right.
That's different too. A lot of newer construction.
Yeah.
They don't have
It's more than one exit out. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I love it. I'm excited for you guys.
We are too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now it's the summertime.
Yeah.
Any big plans?
Dope.
Get this yard right.
Yeah, that's the focus.
Get the yard right. Focus on that. We had initially said that we were going to have one big cookout for
Y'all everybody.
housewarming in the summer. But we realized that our friend and family list is a little too large to do just one. So we gonna break it up into groups. So a couple of barbecues here and there. But yeah,
you always welcome. Every time we have one, you come to all of them.
Hey, let me know.
Right. You come do some networking.
Yeah. Let me know. I'm here.
Come to all of them. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're gonna have to break it up. And then that's another thing. Like the HOA here, they kind of fun. I didn't think they was gonna be that bad, but they kind of funny acting. So
It's not the same company that we talked to.
Originally, they switched it.
And when they switched companies, I think because I read the bylaws of the other one, it wasn't as bad. But these bylaws are, yeah.
What company is it with?
Cusick. Yeah. So the community has a Facebook page, and we're all talking about dissolving the.
Wow. So you guys are part of.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So the majority of us are like, okay, let's dissolve the HOA.
Now, how did you like? What sparked your brain to think? Let me join the Facebook community.
Actually, the Whitney, whatever she was, the sales agent.
Yes.
She when we finally when we put during the loan process, she had sent me a text and was like, hey, this is the Facebook page for the community. So it was already set up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, that's what's up.
It's kind of cool too, because all the houses aren't the same, but they were built by the same people. So it's like, hey, you having this problem? Well, how did your 1 year walkthrough go?
Yeah.
What did you do for your 1 year walkthrough?
Yeah.
Are you having problems with your septic tank? No, I'm not having problems with my septic tank, but so it's a cool little community. We're gonna have a yard sale next weekend, a community yard sale next weekend. So it's interesting.
Wow.
Now you do have some people on there that are a little too nosy.
Yeah. You gonna have your Miss Parkers in there.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's cool.
So
He's not a part of Facebook, so he wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I just tell him what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to know.
So are we still excited? Or the dust kind of settled?
I'd say I'm still excited. Shit ain't been a year. How many what is it?
4 months?
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming up quick too.
Honestly, it's still new, man. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is still new to me. It ain't even been a year, so every day it's an exciting day,
Yeah. I think when you get it painted,
Yeah.
you throw that accent wall up there.
Yeah.
Like, dang, this feel new.
Yeah.
It's gonna get that fresh feeling.
It's still exciting to come home every day, man. Something you work hard for.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You work hard for.
Well, the Harrises, I thank you guys for allowing me to come over and have a candid conversation with you guys. It's beautiful to see what you guys have done with the house, and thank you guys for welcoming me to any event that you guys have in the future. And I will be in attendance with the wife. Okay. Yeah. And thank you guys.
The girls are welcome too.
Okay.
Even though I said it's a party when no kids are. The girls are welcome too.
Okay, I'll bring them too. You'll have a ball just laughing at them, okay? And I thank you guys for choosing me though to be along with your journey. I hold my position very strong. I take pride in it because I'm in position I'm in between the American dream. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And to help somebody accomplish their goals, that can be a journey. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing to be a part of that process. So I thank you guys for allowing me to be there for that.
Really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you.
Yeah. I'm glad we went with you.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.